Before we start today's episode, I want to correct something I said in a couple of my last videos. I honestly thought I had read this somewhere, or he definitely sounds like him, but I thought that Captain Buggy was voiced by Mark Hamill. He's not. He does kind of have that vibe, like the gravelly vibe, and then the crazy laugh. Honest mistake, and that's okay. It's okay that I made an honest mistake, and you know why? 'Cause I don't know jack squat about anime. But I'm gonna learn with all of my friends. Will you be here when my quest ends? Okay, so episode 7 starts off where the last one left off, where Monkey D. Luffy and Zoro with one R are fighting this, I forget his name, Beastmaster or something, but this guy who is riding a elephant-sized lion, a character named Richie. I believe the cat's name is Richie. I forget the human character's name, but the cat's name is Richie. Captain Buggy's there because he was attacking the town in the previous episode, and a character shows up, a member of Captain Buggy's crew, who's a swordsman. He has two swords, but he's riding a unicycle. I thought that was kind of a cool visual for this fight, with Zoro with one R is fighting a unicycle swordsman for a good chunk of the episode. While this is going on, Nami goes off on her own little mission, and she ends up stealing some treasure and a map for something called the Grand Line. That's another treasure she steals a map for. And while she's looking for this, there's this like drunk guy who like leers at her, like, kind of sort of sexualizes her, and she knocks him out, and she takes the treasure, and so good for Nami. And like I said, Captain Buggy's there. He fires a cannonball that Monkey D. Luffy deflects, being rubber, just bounces it boing off of his rubber chest. And Buggy then realizes that Monkey D. Luffy has, devil fruit powers. He's rubber. And they start fighting. And there's some pretty cool visuals there as well, where, of course, Captain Buggy's powers are he can detach any part of his body and it comes right back on. But then you can call it back to him. There's some cool shots of his head reattaching and stuff like that. Plus, we already know that Monkey D. Luffy is very attached to the straw hat that he wears because his mentor Shanks gave it to him, and you don't mess with my hat. Well, at one point in the fight, the hat gets damaged, and Monkey D. Luffy mentions, "Oh, that's my hat. Shanks gave that to me." And then Buggy's like, Shanks and Buggy apparently have a elaborate backstory that's for the next episode. But you find out that Buggy and Shanks have some history. And at one point in this fight, Buggy detaches his torso. Like I said, he can detach any part of his body. So he detaches his torso and he attacks. He goes after Nami because she just stole some treasure that it either was his or he wants it, obviously. So he's going after her. Now, when Captain Buggy detaches his torso, his legs are still just standing wherever he was standing before, right? So, and Monkey D. Luffy can't get over, to defend Nami. So he goes over to Captain Buggy's legs, just his legs. His torso is detached, attacking Nami. He goes over to the legs and kicks the legs right in the crotch. And apparently, even though his torso is detached and it's flying through the air attacking someone else, he could feel it. Like he's lunging towards just half of his body is lunging towards Nami. Monkey D. Luffy kicks his detached nutsack over there, and his body just drops. He's like, "Oh!" Hilarious. I thought it was funny. At the end of that episode, you find out that he knew Shanks. So episode 8 picks up from there and is a backstory episode where you find out that Shanks and Buggy knew each other back in the day. And Buggy had a devil fruit, but he wasn't going to eat it to get these powers. He was going to sell it, and he wanted the money for it. But when he was trying to hide it, due to a humorous set of circumstances, Shanks accidentally made him swallow it. Like, it was just as funny. He was trying to hide it in his mouth so nobody knew he had it, so he could sell it. And we learned in previous episodes that when people have the devil fruit, they have superpowers, but they lose their ability to swim. I don't have any superpowers and I can't swim. But anyway, these people have superpowers, but it takes away their ability to swim. And Shanks actually saved his life because he fell in the water after eating the devil fruit. He couldn't swim, and Shanks saved his life. But Buggy is so greedy that he didn't get to sell this devil fruit. He's mad at Shanks for making him eat it, and then he couldn't sell it. And Monkey D. Luffy defeats Buggy by doing the Gum Gum Bazooka, which is basically he takes Buggy and he stretches his body like a slingshot and just slings him. And then you don't see where he lands. He could have landed on the sun, and he's gone, at least for now. The people from this town that Captain Buggy attacked and everything, they come back and they notice that their mayor has been injured, and they blame Zoro with one R and Nami because they just happen to be there. And they ask him what happened, and Monkey D. Luffy has kind of a big mouth, and he goes, "Yeah, we're pirates." Like they were trying to keep like don't tell them that. So, the three heroes, Monkey D. Luffy, Zoro with one R, and Nami, run out of the town, getting chased by this angry mob. Now the mayor knows that they were there to help and they were there to save, but he's unconscious at this point. So the rest of the mob, they misunderstand the situation, and they chase him out of town. It catches up with them as they're leaving in Buggy's old ship. They have Buggy's old ship with the skull and crossbones and the clown nose. The three heroes have his ship now. Meets up with them and kind of thanks them from the shore. Like, thanks, And at the end of the episode, they show a shadowy figure. We don't know who that is. But Buggy's gone. Maybe that's a new villain. I don't know. But these 2 episodes, funny stuff, interesting backstory. A friend of mine told me that this show gets bogged down with backstory. I mean, I don't. It hasn't annoyed me yet. And like I said, I don't review each episode. I just say if I'm gonna keep watching it, that means I like it. So I definitely like these 2 episodes. Having Buggy detach his body and getting kicked in the nuts, that was hilarious. So I'm enjoying the show so far. Let me know what you think of this episode or this series down below. Like and subscribe as well. And as always, this video is sponsored by Turtle Rocket Books, top shelf quirky sci-fi in a literary sci-fi multiverse. Want to see some weird stuff?
1, 2, 3, 4.